April 3rd, 2026, Undocumented Times, Issue 1, Volume 3. How Your Living Room Chair Could Be Killing You. Across North America, chairs are everywhere. What once required movement, like work, transportation, and even leisure, has now gradually been replaced by sitting. Whether it's long hours at a desk, time spent commuting, or an evening spent using screens, many people now spend most of their day inactive. Sedentary behavior is defined as any waking behavior characterized by an energy and expenditure of less than 1.5 mets while sitting or reclining. While the shift in sitting may seem harmless, its effects on health are serious. Research shows that people in Western countries now spend roughly 8 to 11 hours a day sitting. This inactivity has been linked to a wide range of health concerns, including heart disease, poor metabolic health, weakened bones, and even premature death. It also affects mental well-being, contributing to reduced cognitive function and overall quality of life. Why has the sedentary lifestyle increased in North America? This increase is a result of technological advancements. As society has moved further into a technologically age, many jobs that once required physical labor are now being replaced by robots. There has been a shift away from moderate to vigorous physical activity, or MVPA, in factories and labor-intensive jobs towards low-activity and desk jobs. While these jobs may reduce physical strain, they also limit opportunities for movement and expose workers to long periods of sitting. What is more concerning is that many people don't make up for this inactivity outside of work, which means that sedentary behavior continues throughout the entire day. The COVID-19 pandemic also influenced these trends of increased sitting behavior. During lockdowns, many individuals changed their lifestyles by incorporating less physical activity. Studies have found increases in weight gain, unhealthy eating habits, frequent snacking, and over 6 hours of time per day. And unfortunately, these habits from this era haven't been broken by some individuals. Canada's 24-hour movement guidelines. The Canadian Movement Guidelines suggest that adults aged 18 to 64 should be getting a total of at least 150 minutes of moderate to vigorous physical activity per week, while at least two strength training days of major muscle groups per week, in addition to a limit of 8 hours or less of sedentary behavior. Meeting the guidelines is important, but it may not be enough. Prolonged sitting, even for people who exercise, can still be harmful for health. For example, 150 minutes of activity per week is only 2 to 3% of waking time, leaving most of the day sedentary. A 10-year study of nearly 90,000 people found that high sedentary time increased heart disease risk even for those who met activity guidelines. Exercise alone cannot cancel out the dangers of too much sitting, so reducing sedentary time throughout the day is essential. But how? In the following paragraphs, I discuss how other cultures are incorporating more physical activity. Movement as work. In some cultures, physical activity is not something people have to plan, but something that is already a part of everyday life. Instead of separating exercise from someone's daily routine, movement is built into the work they do. For indigenous communities, land-based activities such as hunting, fishing, berry picking, gardening, and harvesting plants are components of their daily physical activity, and this is done through full-body movements that work the different muscle groups. For example, within Yupik and Cupik communities in Alaska, use communities in Alaska use activities like berry picking, dry fishing, and gathering plants to get their physical activity. However, it is also important to recognize that not everyone has access to this kind of lifestyle. In North America, many jobs are sedentary, i.e., office jobs, and don't allow for constant movement throughout the day. As a result, there have been efforts to improve activity in office workplaces, like using standing desks, encouraging walking breaks, and having short stretch breaks during the workday. Movement as transportation. More importantly, reducing sedentary behavior depends on what happens outside of work. In North America, long commutes often add hours of sitting each day. The Netherlands have integrated physical activity into daily life through active transportation. About one-third of trips under 7.5 kilometers use bicycles. As a result, 38% of Dutch adults meet physical activity recommendations through transport alone, and many of which actually exceed the minimum requirements. Cities like Amsterdam, Utrecht, and Groningen are designed with dedicated bike lanes, traffic lights for cyclists, and bike parking, making cycling safe and convenient. Shout out. In Portland, Oregon, a TikToker that goes by the username Coach Bolton has created a safe system for children to bike to school in groups, as well as incorporating music and fun into school mornings. Not only do adults need exercise, but so do children. Check out this account here. Movement as social identity or social interaction. Physical activity can also be shaped by social interaction and cultural identity. Rather than viewing movement as something separate, it can actually be built into social interaction with friends and family by choosing to walk and talk, or a group fitness class instead of more sedentary activities like dining out or watching a movie. Dance in particular has been suggested as an excellent example of an activity that combines physical exercise with emotional involvement. Dance is often tied to cultural rituals and celebrations to demonstrate the group's values and storytelling across generations. For example, indigenous powwow dances are not just performances, but spiritual and communal practices that connect individuals to ancestors, identity, and community. In Brazil, events like Carnival use dance to bring communities together, where a movement becomes both a celebration and a cultural ritual. Crossword activities outside of sitting. Beyond dance, everyday activities like gardening can show the crossover between social interaction and physical activity. In Japan, community and home gardening are popular and involve regular physical tasks such as bending and lifting, while also being a community activity to build social ties. Studies show that people who garden are more active and report higher levels of happiness due to the social and cultural aspects of the activity. Together, these examples highlight how physical activity can become a part of regular social interactions. In North America, the rise in sedentary choices have made chairs a silent killer for our overall health. Although prolonged sitting can have serious poor physical and mental implications, research and examples from around the world show that movement does not need to be confined to the gym. Whenever, whether through work, transportation, or social and cultural practices, integrating activity into daily routines can reduce sedentary time and improve well-being. I encourage every reader to make small choices in their life that lead to big impact, like taking the stairs, walking on your break, biking to work, or spending time outside with friends. Written by Brooklyn Gillespie.